Hello, and welcome back to the 11th installation podcast of Drama and Theater in Education. For those of you who don't know, my name is Matthew Demaro, and this is a reflective podcast talking about the things that we talked about in my class that I take at Brock University, Drama and Education, with my professor, Kevin Hobbs. These podcasts are meant as a reflectory piece of the discussions we reviewed, as well as my opinions on them and how I can expand upon them more. Today, I wanted to discuss the idea of, so to give a little context, we finished the book that we've been reading all semester, which is a fabulous book about a teacher's perspective on on her views of education and just things that she's noticed through the years. And today we finalized our conversation with the book, talking about hope and what things bring us hope. And I said that cooperation brings me hope because a main theme that we discussed in this book in class today, as well as every other class, is how education has to be cooperative between the teacher and the student. It can't be talking at. It has to be a combined effort between both teacher and student to be able to create a product that has beauty, and it breaks ignorance because it provides teamwork, and that teamwork leads to being able to work with others as well as self-work and thinking about the emotions of your peers and how to work with peers, especially peers that are different ages from you. Because we grow up in this weird bracket of, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, where you're mainly interacting with people your age. But if you were really working cooperatively and collaborating with your teacher, you'd be working with someone at a very different age, which would give you a wide difference of experience as compared to if you're not. But in the book, we talked about how personally I have had a lot of experiences with teachers who didn't go that extra mile, and how education is really fucked up when teachers don't go that extra mile, in my opinion. And you guys can leave your thoughts on that in the comments down below. I'd love to read them. But for me, I have to be able to have a personal connection with my teacher to be able to learn from my teacher. Don't know why. That's just how I work. I learn through asking questions and developing relationships. It takes time, it takes care, it takes dedication. And I know the difference between my teachers who give me that dedication, that time, that care, and the teachers that don't. Is one more right or wrong than the other? That's a matter of opinion. The difference between the teacher that goes the extra mile and the teacher that doesn't is that teacher who goes the extra mile is usually better received than from their kids. And I was trying to think about that because the book talked about that. I think that kids can sense when an adult really cares, truly. To a certain degree. Obviously, kids aren't smart enough to sniff out criminals and stuff like that, but that's not the point of this. Kids can tell when a teacher is out to get them or when a teacher is backing them in their corner. I could always tell. And so could my classmates. And I think that this antagonistic relationship between teacher and student starts at the beginning. I don't think it's necessarily a thing that... It can be a thing that bridles over a semester, or over a year, or over 2 years, and eventually, the teacher just stops caring. But I think that, in my experience, when you get a bad vibe from a teacher, you get it usually from the first day. And this is not me saying that kids have an excuse to be able to not enjoy their teachers or blah, blah, blah. I'm saying that there are teachers who don't show their kids the dedication that maybe their kids need to be shown to truly start learning and relating and connecting and devising and critically thinking and reflecting. A lot of the activities that I've brought up in these past podcasts, which you're free to watch on YouTube and other platforms, as well as in my reflection papers, is that reflection, critical thinking, devising, these things are best well done in a comfortable environment where you don't feel attacked and where you feel that you can share your opinions and thoughts freely and openly without being attacked, like I said. A lot of these educational ideas need to happen in a free environment. And I think that hostile classrooms don't only affect the mood, motivation, and mental health of the student, but do affect the learning as well. Because if a student feels that their teacher is hostile towards them, they're not going to critically think and share it with you. They're not going to reflect as much. They're not going to care as much. But if a teacher shows they care, adapts their style to them, adapts the style to the class, asks for the class's interests, encourages class discussion, encourages class thinking, critical thinking, self-thinking, that is an environment that has been better designed to meet the needs of the students being able to do the tasks that they've been asked to do, both alone and with each other and with the teacher. And the teacher can actually be a part of that process and get to know even more about their kids, and therefore know even better how to help their kids with whatever struggles they're having, or how to adjust their assignments and lectures and etc. to better meet their kids' needs. It's that personalization creates such a state of neutrality that the teacher can grow from anywhere there. But if a teacher comes in with what we saw during the pandemic, some more negative attitudes, it leaves less room for growth, both through the relationship of teacher and student, the relationship of student and subject, and student and education. And I truly believe that even from my own experiences, I have a bad taste in my mouth still with mathematics due to the way that certain teachers taught me math and were forceful about math. And still, I cannot look at certain math equations because that's how I was taught. I wonder if I was taught math by a different teacher in a different atmosphere, someone more caring, more adaptive, more willing to spend the time, would my outlook on the subject be different? I think probably. I can't say for certain because I'm not a wizard and I can't go back in time. But I think if I had different teachers who adapted more to my style of learning and were willing to think with me and sit with me, I think that I would have less of a primal fear and stress reaction to math than I do now. Just something to think about. And give me some examples in the comments if you're willing of when teachers' negativities threw you off and how you wish they would have handled the situations. But also remember that we're little gremlins. Like, kids are little gremlins, and teachers have to be strict sometimes. So please don't just give examples of like, oh, I threw shit at my friend and so my teacher gave me detention. Please provide actual examples of where you feel a teacher let you down and how we in the educational field could improve upon that letdown. Something to think about, as I will be myself. Well, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And please leave your comments down below. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. I will say this is my second last podcast. So for those of you who have been enjoying, I unfortunately will not be continuing. But thank you for coming along with the journey with me. Enjoy your day, and I will see you next week for the final podcast. Bye, guys.